A lot of people hate CCM, otherwise known as Christian contemporary music, and it's not for no reason. They find it boring, generic, disingenuous, and I agree with those things. Look, if the biggest Christian band in the world was outed to be racist, and also the mega church that band is a part of turned out to have a head pastor that liked to diddle kids, I totally can understand where people find that visceral hatred from. I myself grew up in a Korean church, and we played and listened to exclusively CCM. I myself don't like CCM, at least modern stuff. But I do remember when I was a kid, and even now, the older generation of Christian music was really good. Some masterpieces like Shout to the Lord or Like a Rose. So I had this question in my head, when did the shift happen? When did Christian music start to suck butt? And what was the cause? Well, in order to answer that question, we first gotta answer what even makes good Christian music. I think any religious music has to reflect the faith. That means whatever the teachings are has to be reflected through the music, not just harmonically, but also lyrically and the arrangement. Everything encapsulated should reflect the principles of the religion. If the music is unable to reflect the faith, then it no longer becomes religious music. This is the criteria that I made up in my own head, but you guys may have another one. Let's stick to this for the video. The ego cannot be a part of the equation. This makes any type of religious music fundamentally different from any other style or genre, because as an art form, music is about self-expression. Your ego has to be a part of the equation in order to make something, because you find it important enough to share with the world. But no, you cannot do this in Christian music, because this may lead to self-exaltation. In addition to indulgence or prideful thoughts, your job as a Christian musician is to exalt the Lord above all else. The moment you start to exalt yourself above God, you just kind of become a Lucifer. Worship cannot be the same as playing a show. It's really hard to differentiate the two, but they have to be different. And finally, the goal of Christian music is not for it to be good, to be played and executed at a superb level. As long as the worship helps you focus on who God is and his character, then you've done your role. Now, this sounds really difficult to fulfill all these requirements. And the thing is, it's almost impossible. Take gospel music, for example. It fulfills the musical component of reflecting of who God is through means of harmony, arrangement, and lyricism. Also, the music itself is extremely interesting and difficult. And it's the reason why so many musicians who come out of a gospel church are insane. But this is where the issue stems from. It's the musician's ego. In gospel, the music is so difficult that the musicians have to be insanely skilled to even play the music. Also, it relies heavily on improvisation. This is why you see a lot of gospel musicians being able to improvise at such a high level, because the setting allows for public displays of talent and brilliance. Whether someone has a solo, or having to execute a really crazy line before a praise break. Again, this is not inherently bad, but it can lead to thoughts of self-exaltation. Maybe you start comparing yourself to other musicians there. Why are they able to play more Sundays than I do, even though I'm the better player, and I play the songs better than them? This is the big issue with gospel music. And as you can see, it's super difficult to get rid of this ego aspect. I say all this, but gospel music is my favorite Christian music, way more than Christian contemporary. It's super fun to play, and the musicians are amazing. Now let's talk about old CCM, where the harmonies were actually really interesting, and the lyrics would reflect God's character most of the time. Again, the most important aspect, the spirit of the music was aligned with the faith. And even though this type of music is a lot easier than gospel, it was purposely done this way so it could be more accessible to a larger group of people. What this also inadvertently led to was less opportunity to showcase individual ability. This made it a lot easier to kill the ego because the music didn't allow for a lot of self-expression in a way. You were there solely to focus on God. Now let's talk about CCM now and the reasons why I think it blows. The music does sound generic. It's moving towards this pop formula. Whereas before, the goal was very simple and clear: to reflect God's character through the art of music. The goalpost has shifted now to who can make the most lucrative worship song. Money corrupts a lot of things, and religion is definitely one of those things. Modern day Christian music is a lot about the self. And this is dangerous because although the music has stayed simple and honestly has gotten even easier if that was possible, by shifting the lyrics to talking about oneself, you activate the ego again. Also, signs of American Christianity started showing up in CCM. How God can provide for you specifically financially, how he will bless you and you will be abundant money-wise. Perhaps it's less about how the music changed and more about how the faith itself has shifted. To keep it frank with you, the main reason why I truly think Christian music sucks now is because people who make the music aren't really Christian. And I know that's very presumptuous of me to say, but I truly believe that music is a reflection of whoever the artist is. That doesn't mean that all CCM songs suck. I'm sure there are a few that are really good and stick to the core values of what it means to be Christ-like. But unfortunately, those who weaponize our faith and religion are much louder than the ones who don't. I mean, you got people here singing a Christian songs to a lady painting Trump like he's a god or something. And at some point you have to ask yourself, is this really about Jesus? Or is it really just about putting more money in someone's pocket? I don't know what you guys think, but that's my opinion. I'm really interested in your perspectives, and I would love to hear them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this kind of video, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.